Yuri! She startles and looks up at me, flustered. Oh, it's you, MC. Is there something I can help you with? I was wondering if you would like to discuss some horror. Your poetry gives me the impression that you'd be something of an authority on it here. She blushes at my statement. I think authority might be a bit of a stretch, but I'll concede that out of everybody here, I'm the one who likes that genre the most. Surreal horror, in particular, it can be very effective at changing your view on the world, if only for a moment. Is there anything in particular you'd like to talk about? I produced my copy of The Black Cat. Whatever you'd like to do, or whatever you'd like to, really. I reckon Poe's The Black Cat might be a good place to start. I read it yesterday. Perhaps you've done so before, too? Her meekness fades. I can see that she finds both confidence and comfort in her passions. I'm familiar with that one, yes. Bingo! I find it such a haunting story, such a stark commentary on guilt, morality, and the human condition in general. Yuri's speech and tone have undergone a dramatic change, her words now fluent and precise. As if she was knowledgeable on this topic, discussing it many times before. I am captivated. Do go on, I'm all ears. The narrator commits some truly unspeakable acts of violence. His pets, his wife, all of them suffer terribly at his hands. He professes guilt and shame after the fact. And yet, his immediate impulse is to solve the problem by removing what he perceives to be the source of his guilt, his victims. I stare at her, impressed by her insightful observation. You're absolutely right. It's a classic projectional behavior. And you know what they say. There's an immediate solution to every problem, which is almost always the wrong one. His remedies were nowhere as permanent as he thought they would be. Yes, after all, Pluto apparently returned in the form of the second cat, and his wife's murder was eventually uncovered. I suppose guilt just follows you around, doesn't it? One way or another. It needn't necessarily have. What happened in the end could have been averted if he repented and desisted after his very first misdeed. Or if the coward realized that the source of his guilt actually lay within himself. And if he directed his destructive impulses inwardly instead. I won't lie. I'm slightly taken aback by Yuri's feverish intensity as she utters those foreboding words. And a bit to lighten things up a little, I raise what I hope is a valid counterpoint. One with a note of positivity. Is anyone truly beyond redemption, though? Even him? If the narrator is to be believed, he was once a decent human being, still capable of kindness. Deep down inside, that good person might very well still be there. Sure, what you're suggesting is a means of solving the problem, but is it anywhere more right or anywhere less cowardly? Anywhere more right or anywhere less cowardly than what he did?
Why did they say anywhere more? It would just be any more right or any more less, any more right or any less cowardly. What? What's this phrasing?
I think there's an argument that it requires more courage to own up and redeem oneself, rather than take the shortcut to eternity, so to speak. I wince ever so slightly at my own words, finding it difficult to believe them myself. After all, some people probably don't deserve second chances. I fight to stop my gaze from drifting to the girl in the corner of the room, the one who could do nothing or do no wrong. The one who would forgive me as easily as the wind might pluck the seeds of a dandelion. My attention returns to my front when Yuri nods, her face solemn. You make some good points. It's open to debate, just where the line should be drawn for a chance at redemption, though. She sighs, and the narrator is admittedly so reliable at health by drink that it's probably worth taking his claims of prior normalcy with a pinch of salt. With that, Yuri's shy demeanor seems to return. Do you want to go and speak with your friends to Monaco or Sayori? I look at her, puzzled. Have I upset her? Why would she change so hastily? Did she see me glancing that direction by chance? I was enjoying discussing the story with you, actually. Your views are very insightful. But if you'd like me to go speak with them, then sure. Her expression is a mixture of surprise and relief. No, I just didn't think you'd want to discuss with me further after I had such a dissenting opinion. I frown. Is this what she expects? To be ignored or dismissed for disagreeing?
I mean, in this day and age?
Has she been on the receiving end of this in the past? That's just wrong. Why on earth would I stop now? After all, isn't the whole point of the discussion of debating viewpoints? And the ones you raised were very intricate and thought-provoking. All it's done is make me want to talk with you all the more. Just because I don't wholeheartedly agree with you doesn't mean I should neglect or think any less of you. She's clearly touched. That's so very kind. Thank you. She stumbles over her words, and I patiently wait for her to figure out what she's trying to say. Truth be told, I'd like to keep talking with you too. Apologies for being so difficult and for zoning out all the time. That's not a problem. You're genuinely not being difficult. Take all the time you need to get your feelings across. It's no inconvenience. Would you care to start a new book with me at some stage? She noticeably fidgets. So we'd have more to talk about. I sense she is venturing slightly out of her comfort zone with this request. I make sure to respond with as much enthusiasm as I can muster. That kind of boldness deserves to be rewarded. Oh, that would be fantastic, Yuri. Do you have a particular title in mind? Seeing as I sort of chose this one. Her face flushes and she ponders for a moment. Does a little Ray Bradbury sound alright with you? I grin. That I have that somewhere at home. I'll have to dig it out. I'd love that. Haven't delved into his stuff all that much, but no time like the present, hey? Better late than never, yes. I'll bring something of his tomorrow, then. Too easy. I'm not sure who is being rewarded more, her by my agreement or me by her smile. Okay, everyone.
Skip. Skip it. Skip. Skipping. No more.
I find myself in my first class of the day, form. It's always been pretty short, just serving as a head count for the day. And I guess a time for students to talk with each other without worrying about anything. If that's so, then why do I feel so jittery? There's nothing to worry about, right? It's just a short roll call, after all.
After all is 2 words.
Miss Nakamura.
As my thoughts still hold me occupied, my heart stops for a second after I hear my name. But present. False alarm, it was just the roll call. Geez, why am I getting so worked up? I just hear my name being called, and it causes me to nearly freeze. Snap out of it, MC.
Miss Kuroyanagi.
That surname sounds familiar. Present. Yuri raises her hand rather meekly.
Okay, you can put your hand down now.
Oh, right. Yuri does as was suggested by the teacher, retreating into her desk all the while. That's right, her surname. Yuri Kuroyanagi. Looking at her gives me a feeling. What is this feeling? This daydreaming I'm doing. I should stop before it gets out of hand. Maybe I'm just tired. Yet I only feel that way when I'm looking upon Yuri. The roll call soon comes to an end, and right after...
Miss Kuroyanagi.
Yes. Yuri perks up from her desk, almost having the same reaction I did. I guess she wasn't expecting to be called on twice. What is...
Mr. Taro wanted me to remind you that you forgot your book in his classroom yesterday. The lab, if you might recall.
Oh, I did. How careless of me. Yuri awkwardly chuckles. The teacher stares at Yuri. I assume that's the only thing I forgot, yes?
No, you also forgot.
The teacher clears her throat.
Of course. It's always a woman.
I apologize, you were correct, Miss Kuroyanagi.
I forgot.
It was a small joke. I meant to try and lift your spirits, Miss Kuroyanagi.
Thank you. Yuri gives me a small nod before taking out one of her other books and burying her face behind it.
Anyhow.
The teacher continues to call on other students, telling them various things for the day. There was a change to your schedule, Miss So-and-so is expecting you. Things of that nature, though I soon zoned out. My attention instead focuses back on Yuri, lifting her spirits. As I go deeper and deeper into my thoughts, I notice something. Is Yuri staring back at me? Yuri is staring back at me. Our eyes meet, and I quickly dart to look elsewhere. Just like that, my heart is racing again, just like it was only moments ago. The rest of the form goes as expected, and soon enough...
They didn't capitalize it last time.
Well, there's about everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day.
The teacher leaves the classroom, giving us some time to ourselves. I go to grab my copy of The Black Cat so that I can reread it while I wait. But I find myself pausing halfway. Yuri is also slow to the uptake, only now putting down her book and noticing the teacher left. Oh. She quickly hurries to get out of her seat, but in doing so, almost trips over her chair. Without thinking, I find myself rushing over to her. Yuri, are you all right? She carefully readjusts herself, looking at her now empty desk. Yes, I'm all right. I just, let's say, delved too deep into the world of my book. Yuri, please be careful. You could have been hurt. Yuri hides her face behind her book once more. I take a glance at the book in question to see what she was reading. Something Wicked This Way Comes? This one sounds oddly familiar. Yuri puts down the book in question, then looks behind me. I follow her gaze, landing on my empty desk, next to another desk, also empty. Let us continue this discussion over there, perhaps. Okay. We both walk over to my desk, pushing the neighboring desk over to connect, then pushing out the chairs. Yuri places her bag down, as do I, then the both of us take our seats, sitting side by side. So, you were referring to my book, yes? Yuri gestures to the book in her hands. I nod. Yeah, I feel like I know it from somewhere. What is it about? Well, would it surprise you if I said this was a Ray Bradbury book? His style here is somewhat similar to Edgar Allan Poe's The Black Cat. That's right. We discussed that yesterday. I hadn't forgotten. I just didn't put the name to the book. Yuri then pauses, eyes widening. You asked what the book was about? My apologies. The story is focused around a town of strange happenings. From a carnival covered in smoke to a merry-go-round going in reverse. That is to say, of course, I have only just started reading it. I thought it would only be fair. You know, so that we may both experience it together. Though maybe I should have waited until we both had the chance to read it together first. My apologies. I just had the time to spare, and since form is usually not very demanding in attention. Hey, don't worry about it. I'll be sure to catch up. What page are you at currently? Yuri quickly opens her book's jacket, looking for a bookmark. Upon finding her bookmark, she glances at the corner of the book before closing it once more. Around 200, I think. The fine print is always hard to read. She said she just started reading and she's already at page 200. Gosh, that'll take some... Don't worry, I'll reach that in no time. Then we'll be able to talk about it, right? Even if I don't feel bad. You don't need permission to engage in your own hobbies, yeah? Yuri looks at me, contemplating her response. I suppose you are right. I just did not want to disappoint after I promised yesterday to bring a new Ray Bradbury book we could read together. Thank you for your consideration. Yuri gives me a small smile, assuring me her worries are no more. As I return her smile, another teacher walks into the classroom.
Oh, be quiet.
The teacher glances around the room, spotting us. His irritated look quickly changes to a judgmental one.
Yay, we finally matched a male voice to an unknown male character.
You two, put the desks back where they belong.
Sorry, yes, sir. Yikes, how did I get so distracted? That's weird. I guess it's just been a while since I had someone to talk to in class. Maybe I got a little too excited, or exited. Not excited, exited. We both return to the desks to normal positions, then sit back down. With Yuri opting to sit in the once empty desk still next to me. Well, no one else was using it, so I guess it's fair game.
And that's it for today. Take care.
Finally time, eh? The last class now out of the way, I smiled a little to myself. It's time to visit the club once more. Whoa! I avoid nearly running right into Yuri as I step into the hall. Yuri? Yes. What were you... I mean, how... Geez, I cannot speak today. Yuri gathers her breath, watching as I pitifully stumble over my own words. I was on the way out and paused. You must have run into me. I apologize. I was making my way to the literature club, actually. I guess that explains it. Sorry about that. I guess I should have been more careful. I half-heartedly chuckle, more to myself than to anything else, but it seems to bring her mood up a little.
Don't think you need to hyphen in half-heartedly.
Don't worry. I don't fault you. That said, we should make haste at the club. Sure. Both Yuri and I rush down the hallway and over to the literature club. Jumpy, isn't she? Almost feels like I'm babysitting a puppy. After a quick jog, we make it just outside the clubroom. The clubroom seems quiet. Nothing abnormal, at least at first glance. I suppose we did not need to rush after all. MC? Yuri turns to me, noticing my inactivity. Me? Nah, I'm good. Just catching my breath is all. I recognize that look in your eyes. Huh? I have a look? What look? Nothing. I was just saying, well, if something is bothering you, perchance, would you be willing to, delve into it with my presence to guide you? More perceptive than she appears, evidently. I only just met Yuri yesterday, and although we've always shared a few classes together, would it be too much to lean on her with this? Maybe she'll understand. It kind of feels like she'll probably work it out sooner or later anyway. Well, remember how I said that Sarah and I met before? Yes. The truth is, I've been a little uneasy. I've known Sarah for a long time, but you felt uncomfortable approaching her. We were separated for 5 years. I just don't know where to start or if I even should. Yuri processes the information I provided her. The stare she gives me is rather uncomfortable. I didn't do anything wrong, did I? Well, judging you would prove me a hypocrite. I believe you should try to get along with her again. The painting of uneasiness will go away the more you combat it.
I don't know if... Do they mean tinge instead of ting?
On the other hand, allowing it to comfort you and stay within your comfort zone will only make it worse. Yeah, it feels like that's the right call. I guess just getting my thoughts out made me realize how stupid of a thing it is to be worried about. Despite myself and my words, I still can't will myself to move. Yuri lets out a sigh. Then, almost completely flipping what I've seen of her so far, Yuri takes a deep breath and slides open the clubroom door.